Syndesmotic lesions are not so frequent, but can create problems in soccer players. I have no disclosures. And as you see, the ankle is frequently injured, as we have seen before, but 10% of these injuries can interest the syndesmotic area. And sometimes they are not isolated and they must be evaluated carefully. You see that sometimes we find in an ankle calcifications and symptoms that can be consequences of undiagnosed syndesmotic injury. And these chronic injuries can be serious and could induce the player to stop his activity. There are different structures of the syndesmosis can be interested, and of course it's easy to diagnose the worst injuries, but the problem is to diagnose the subtle lesions that could be overlooked and induce a very, very difficult resumption of the activity. The syndesmosis is very important because it keeps together tibia and the fibula, and in football is used at any time. And even the deep portion of the deltoid ligament is involved, as we'll see later. So what is the injury mechanism? It's any force that tends to widen the motis. And usually an external rotation. In some classifications, these are the fourth type injuries. But also with hyperdorsiflexion, you can injure the syndesmosis. The diagnosis seems simple. You have edema, ecchymosis, pain, but very frequently we don't check carefully this part of the ankle. The ankle is not only medial or lateral ligaments, but it has also ligaments in the upper side. There are different classifications. You see here the West Point, the Edwards and Dilly. You can use the classification you like. The difference is that if the distance between tibia and fibula is not enlarged, you don't have great problems. The problems come out when there is a big enlargement and the ankle functions only if the joint is very tight. Otherwise, you risk problems. And another aspect to consider is the time. We have acute, subacute, and chronic. Chronic cases are not easy to treat. And we should arrive to a prompt diagnosis at the first time. And the treatment depends on the kind of injury. You see here in these classifications, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Of course, in the serious lesions, you need the surgery. We have to repair. And if we decide a conservative treatment, we have some steps to follow. And if we decide to operate, we must obtain a perfect reduction of the lesion. Because when we have chronic injuries, it is not easy to solve, and sometimes this could become the end of a career. This is a lucky case. This is a chronic, you see the associated lesions. This is a chronic lesion that had not been recognized at first. And this lucky guy felt extremely better after an arthroscopic debridement. And now, 10 years later, is still a player. But this is, again, a lucky case. It's not so easy to solve these aspects. And sometimes we have to go to the solution you see in the picture below. The easiest solution when you diagnose this a grade 3 injury, let's say, is a repair. You can use screws or other devices, but you must know that it takes time to heal. And sometimes you have to repair also the deltoid ligament. In literature, you see that this ligament doesn't need frequently a repair. But in this case, as you can see, the lesion had also damaged the medial ligaments, and the deltoid was introflected into the joint with an impossibility to heal without a direct repair. And the syndesmotic screws can be removed or not after the operation. Literature seems to arrive at the conclusion it is better to take out the screws to get the best results. Sometimes you see broken screws and the athlete is asymptomatic. Curiously, if the screws are not broken, symptoms can be higher. But if we aim to a perfect restoration, after 2 or 3 months, the screws can be removed, and you can regain a perfect biomechanics of the joint. As you can see here, this athlete that 6 months after the injuries has resumed at the same level as before. What about the time to sports resumption? As you see, it depends on the lesion. Every case is different from the others because you may have several associated injuries. And sometimes you need to avoid weight bearing for up to 4 or 6 weeks, and the perfect healing takes time, takes months. And we cannot be very aggressive to avoid a not satisfactory result. There are several protocols in literature. This is a reasonable example. Of course, at first you have to settle down the inflammation, pain, then you resume mobility, and when the symptoms have disappeared, you can start training and return to the competition. we have some problems. And you see again a similar. In conclusion, the first point is the most important. A prompt diagnosis and the proper treatment is the best way to solve this serious problem for a football player. And in a professional soccer player, we sometimes are a little bit more aggressive and prefer a surgical solution to get the best anatomical repair possible. Thank you.